Give us my chol, give us my chol, give us my chol, give a smile. Give us my chol, give us my chol, be the reason someone smiles. Give us my chol, give us my chol, give us my chol, give a smile. Give us my chol, give us my chol, be the reason someone smiles. Give us my chol, give us my chol, give us my chol, give a smile. Give us my chol, give us my chol, be the reason someone smile. Give us my chol, give us my chol, give us my chol, give a smile. Give us my chol, give us my chol, be the reason someone smiles. Siva gedola, liyo liyo besimcha. Siva gedola, liyo liyo besimcha. Siva gedola, liyo liyo besimcha. Siva gedola, liyo besimcha. Siva gedola, liyo 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 besimcha. Be the reason someone smiles. 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 Siva gedola, liyo besimcha. Siva gedola, liyo liyo besimcha. Siva gedola, liyo liyo besimcha. Siva gedola, liyo besimcha. Someone smile. Be the reason someone smile. Be the reason someone smile. Be the reason someone smiles. Be the reason someone smiles.
Breakfast with Elli.
Mode ani lefanecha melech chai vekayam shechezarta bi nishmati bechemla raba emunatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, boirei pri hagafei. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, boirei min evsamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, boirei moirei ha'esh.
Noya mavdil ben kodesh lechol.
Hebrew word for child is Yeled. Every Hebrew letter also has a numerical value, and the letters for child add up to 44, which is also the value of mother and father added together.
June is busting out all over the meadow and the hill. Good morning and welcome to Breakfast with Ellie. This Sunday, the second day of June, the 25th day of Iyar. The Torah portion is the beginning of the fourth book of the Torah, Bamidbar. HaYom, Yom Rishon Shabbos, the first day counting up toward Shabbos. We'll be learning the first Aliyah. Good morning, it's June. June. Just because it's June. Hearts went out like a lion. All right, very good. Thank you so much for being here. How was your Shabbos? Good Vach, Shavua Tov, a good week. I hope that Shabbos was everything that it needed to be, and the week to come, everything that you need to be, and a little bit of what you want it to be too. You know how I feel about that. All right, let us get started. Men and boys, please take your two front sitzes and let's make a bracha. Ready?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al mitzvat tzitzit.
Right. Al divrei Torah, everyone together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al divrei Torah.
Right. Hareini Mikabel, everyone.
Hareini Mikabel alai mitzvat aseh shel ve'ahavta l'reacha kamocha. I take upon myself every single day to love my fellow friend in a very special way.
Torah Tziva.
Ay Torah tziva lanu Moshe morasha keilat Yaakov. Torah tziva lanu Moshe morasha keilat Yaakov.
Time to give tzedakah.
I put it in the pushki, the tzedakah box. I put it in the pushki, the tzedakah box. I put it in the pushki for someone else to keep. Yeah, I put it in the pushki, the tzedakah box. I put it in the pushki, the tzedakah box. I put it in the pushki for someone else in need.
All right, fantastic. And that takes us to the saying of the Shema. All right, fantastic. And we are going to just do the Shema this morning. Good morning.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
All right, and that takes us to breakfast. Here we go. I've got coffee and I've got pineapple yogurt. Let's make a bracha shehakol together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol nihiyah bidvaroi. Very nice.
Coffee, blessed coffee. God bless you for being a friend. When the whole world turns on me, it's only you on which I can depend. I want to taste you in the morning and a few times throughout the day. Yes, a cup or two in the evening too. For me, it's the only way.
right. Absolutely.
49 days to count the Omer. After it
All right, we're on day 40.
At the end of my read, Steve, do it in short.
Tonight we will count one more.
Just count with me. Look for the stars.
For now, here's
just be
Cantor
sure to
Brook.
make the bracha. Erev is the key.
All right. Today in Jewish history. All right, here we go. Sorry about that. The Jews of Cologne were saved in the year 1096. During the First Crusade, the Crusaders are locked out of Cologne, Germany, and the local Jews are saved, following the orders of the local bishop to close the gates to the city. In a number of local provinces where the local bishop tried to avert the masses from harming the Jews, the bishop would eventually have to escape for his own safety. But in 1355, they weren't so lucky. 1,200 Jews were massacred by a Christian and Muslim mob attack on the Jewish section of Toledo, Spain. And it is the yahrzeit of Rabbi Yaakov Lorenbaum of Lissa, a well-known halachic authority who served as a rabbi in the Eastern European cities of Kalisz, Lissa, and Strel. Among the famous and widely studied works of this prolific author are Chavos Das and Nesivos HaMishpat, which are both in-depth commentaries on the Shulchan Aruch. All right, we counted 40 days of the Omer last night, so you know that we count one more tonight when we do the Sfiras HaOmer. All right? All right, HaYom Yom for today.
היום הזה הוא זמן שמחתנו
25th day of Iyar.
שמע את התפילה שבליבנו ותמחול את כל עוונותינו.
You know, let me tell you a little cute story. Every Friday, we have this fun mitzvah project where we offer a slice of pizza to any Jewish boy that will wrap tefillin or a girl that will take upon herself to light Shabbos candles that evening. And we get sometimes 100 or more Jewish kids, teenagers, that are really excited about doing the mitzvah and celebrating in this mitzvah pizza party. And once, a cynical man came over to me, and he was unimpressed. And he said, "Don't you think you are sending the wrong message by offering pizza in return for a mitzvah?" And I was caught a bit off guard, but you know, somehow I got a little bit of inspiration, and I said, you know, the truth is, I'm not the first one to offer food in return for a mitzvah. As a matter of fact, if you read the Shema, Hashem kind of does the same thing. He says, Im shamoa tishmu'u el mitzvotai, if you observe, you listen to my commandments, then v'natati mitar artzachem bi'ito yoreu malkosh v'asafta deganecha v'tiroshcha v'yitzarecha. There'll be grain, there'll be wine, there'll be oil. So Hashem does the same thing. He says if you do a mitzvah, then it's only natural that good things will happen in your life. Today's HaYom Yom addresses the question, is what is really the true nature of a mitzvah? Says the HaYom Yom. In the year 1795, the Alter Rebbe, the first Rebbe of Chabad, delivered a Hasidic discourse. And he said, quoting from the Mishnah, Schar mitzvah mitzvah. What is the true reward for a mitzvah? The mitzvah itself. On the deepest level, the word mitzvah means connection. So what is the greatest reward that you can get from doing a mitzvah? The mitzvah, the connection itself, is the greatest reward. Now that's not to say that there aren't other fringe benefits. On the contrary, as we cited from the Shema earlier, there will be frills or benefits for doing a mitzvah that you can, when you do a mitzvah, good things happen. You might get grain, oil, wine, or pizza, but if you follow Hashem's commandments, you will have a better life. That's what the Torah promises us. However, we should never lose focus of the fact that the mitzvah in its most essential form is really about a connection. And now truly appreciating that connection, that if we would really appreciate the power of the bond that we create with Hashem every time we do a mitzvah, we'd be in awe, we'd be amazed. It's too powerful for us to appreciate it right now. We'll only really appreciate the nature of that bond, that connection, in the next world, or when the Mashiach comes. So right now, we benefit and we appreciate the frills, the smaller rewards, if you will, that come from a mitzvah. But with time, we'll appreciate that the true essence of a mitzvah and the true reward that comes from the mitzvah is the connection itself.
Well, yeah, I love it. And that takes us to a word from our sponsors.
And now, a word from our sponsors. PestProRidol.com.
PestProRidol.com. Trusted by the best to keep away the pests. We are offering COVID-19 disinfection services. Mention this ad and get 1 month free service. Visit us at PestProRidol.com.
Tarzane Group. Micro, miniature, and small orchids. Go to tarzanegroup.com or call Tomas at 305-440-0565. That's 305-440-0565 and order today. Visit Tomas and Yair at tarzanegroup.com. Micro, miniature, and small orchids. Beautiful in your home. Go to the website and read Tomas's orchid blog. And by Dina D Design. DinaDDesign@gmail.com. Fine artwork, custom made to your specifications, logos, wall hangings, Judaica, and you can even have something for your child's room. Dina D Designs. Go to her Facebook or Instagram or call or text. Thank you very much to our sponsors. If you'd like to become a sponsor, please go right up here to where it says patreon.com/theactorsrabbi, and you can contribute even only $1 a month if you'd like, but that'll help us bring this broadcast to you on a daily basis and cover our expenses. Be sure to thank your sponsors when shopping and mention Breakfast with Elli when you're shopping there. There might be discounts. Thanks for watching.
All right, patreon.com/theactorsrabbi to our campaign to get a new computer here. That's right. All right, we are doing the name of the Parsha, which is Bamidbar. It is the name of the Parsha and, of course, the entire book. And it means in the desert. But the name Bamidbar itself doesn't seem to bring to light any unique qualities of our Parsha at all. On the contrary, at this point, the Jewish people have been situated in the desert for a considerable period of time, throughout the whole book of Vayikra and part of the book of Shmos. So, what's added now by stressing that the Jewish people are in the desert? Well, the answer to the question lies in the fact that we always read Parshas Bamidbar before Shavuos, before we experience the giving of the Torah once again. For spiritually, the Torah is given anew every single Shavuos, and it's necessary to recall and take to heart that the Torah was not given in a civilized environment, but indeed it was given Bamidbar, in a desert. So the lesson here is twofold, the Rebbe teaches. A desert is a place of utter desolation, where no man can live, according to the prophet Jeremiah. So the Torah was given there to indicate that it should embrace without any preconception or ulterior motives. That is what we do. When a person lives in a civilized place and he encounters a new idea or a suggestion, he'll first evaluate it to determine whether it's acceptable according to societal norms. With Torah, however, that would be a mistake. The correct approach to accepting Torah is na'aseh v'nishma. We will do, and later we will understand, as the Torah says to us that the Jewish people answered Hashem. Therefore, Torah was given in a desert where nobody can live, to indicate that one needs to be truly open-minded. In other words, not influenced by one's environment, to appreciate the values of Torah. And the second reason Torah was given in a desert is to teach us that sharing the Torah with those who currently find themselves in a spiritual desert is fundamental to Torah Judaism. It's not the case that the Torah can also teach those that are found in a spiritual wasteland. On the contrary, that is the central theme of the giving of the Torah. And what is it? To transform every spiritual desert into a civilized environment, making this a home for Hashem in the lower worlds, as we know he wants. All right. All right, that's wrong. So let's go to the next one here. All right, here we go. Rabbi Avtzin, you're up. All right. And that takes us to Parsha Points with Rabbi Epstein. As soon as the computer decides to.
Parsha Points Bamidbar for Sunday. Mom, Dad, Moshe and Aaron and the Nasi of our Shevet are at the door. Whoa, I guess I better clean the place up. Don't they have more important things to do than count the Jewish people? I mean, get some otherwise unemployed straggler, a clipboard and an armband, let him go 10 to 10, and let him do the census. Now imagine Moshe, Aaron, and the mayor show up. There's a sense of urgency and significance that makes the counting count. Can we do that for others? Can we make them feel worthy?
I don't know. Can we? Let's find out with Shnayim Yomi for the day. Welcome.
Parsha Points B'chukaisai for Shabbos. Well, we did it. Congratulations.
פרשת במדבר, עליית ראשון. וידבר אדוני אל משה במדבר סיני באוהל מועד, באחד לחודש השני, בשנה השנית, לצאתם מארץ מצרים לאמור. פרשת במדבר talks about the numbers of עם ישראל. הקדוש ברוך הוא told משה רבנו to count עם ישראל. שאו את ראש עדת בני ישראל. It was במדבר סיני, באחד לחודש השני, א' אייר, the second year to Yetziat Mitzrayim. Why not in the first month? Why not in Chodesh Nisan? As she explained, because in Chodesh Nisan was they built the Mishkan, so they were busy with the Mishkan, and Moshe Rabbeinu didn't count Bnei Israel at that time. When Moshe Rabbeinu counted Bnei Israel, the first day of Chodesh Iyar was the reason that HaKadosh Baruch Hu asked Moshe Rabbeinu to count Bnei Israel, because HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves Bnei Israel. When a person he loves something, you're always looking at that and counting it. The Rashi said, "Mitoch chibatan lefanav mena'an." So because the HaKadosh Baruch Hu loves Bnei Israel, so we count them again and again and again. And here is the third or the fourth time that HaKadosh Baruch Hu count Bnei Israel. We're going to see that we're starting from all the Shevatim, all the 12 tribes, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu to count, and Moshe Rabbeinu counting ben 20 shana v'mala, from the age of 20. After that, from 20, and then you can count before 20. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't count Bnei Israel. Ad kan Aliyat Rishon.
My dear friend, as you see, I am not in my usual setting, so I don't have a pushka here, but I do have a box. So please join me in putting in some money in your pushka. I will put in my temporary pushka dedicated for now as a box, and together our prayers, together our tzedakah will bring us the ultimate blessing, as we have been talking the last few days a lot about blessing. Talking about blessing, I'd like also to reflect about the blessing that we have been saying now for 37 times. The blessing on the Sefira Sa'omer. So as we are approaching the end of the counting, because we know we count 49 days, which is basically the 49 days between Pesach and Shavuot. A gradual transformation, a step-by-step ascension from being slaves, from being in exile, subjected to Egyptian culture and being the Egyptians being our masters, rejecting their yoke and transferring, journeying towards Matan Torah, towards the receiving of the Torah on Shavuot. And this is a step-by-step, very gradual transformation, as I said, ascension. Going from the depth of the impurity of Egypt to the heights of Mount Sinai. How do we achieve this? How do we get this? The answer to that is step by step by step. Not the one big leap. Yes, God took a leap to take us out of Egypt. But then we need to ascend gradually. And it's very interesting that this is also connected to Rabbi Akiva. As we know, the time of the Omer is very much connected to the death of the 24,000 of Rabbi Akiva's students. And there's an interesting, beautiful message to learn from Rabbi Akiva himself. Rabbi Akiva came from very humble beginnings. In fact, he was a descendant of converts. He did not have the privilege of inheriting Judaism. It was not in his natural DNA. He also came from very impoverished environment, both spiritually and, as I just said, financially. But one day Rabbi Akiva noticed how a hard rock has a tiny little dent. And what was this dent from? Systematically a drop of water which was dripping on it systematically. Rabbi Akiva was analyzing this rock. He said, hold it. Here is a hard rock which has been dented by what? By the tiny drop of water. So the fact that after who knows how many years, maybe 2,000 years, this drop of water has made a dent, that's an indication that the first drop already had an effect. Because if the first drop has no effect, the millionth, the trillionth drop will not have any effect either. But it is the diligency, the consistency that has the effect. So Rabbi Akiva was reflecting. Water symbolizes Torah. Torah is compared to water, just like water comes from above, the source above coming down. So too is the Torah coming, the source from above coming down. The rock represents our world. Through Torah, through systematic learning some Torah, applying the Torah, it will have a dent on us too, on our, so to say, rock. So Sfiras HaOmer tells us exactly that. Diligence, commitment, systematic, constant, applying the little message. Every little effort, even if it's small, but if it's consistent, will have the dent. And this is how we come to Torah, to Matan Torah, to receiving the Torah. And this is how, my friend, every little effort we do, every little mitzvah we do, brings us to the ultimate redemption with Mashiach. And please God, hind, today, now.
I can't agree more. I can't agree more. All right. Yeah, we have time today to do our Parsha song. We didn't do that. Lovely. And Chabad of Iceland today.
A head count is a very superficial thing. It fails to recognize you as an individual with your unique story. The greatest person and the simplest person receive the same recognition. But at the same time, there could be a very deep truth contained in a simple count. The theme of this week's Torah portion is the counting and a census of the Jewish people in the desert. But certainly God knew how many Jews there were, and surely God pays attention to the individual. So why the head count? The census, where we're all counted equally, tells of the Jewish spark that we all have in the same way. It emphasizes the fact that we all have a Jewish spark, a powerful Jewish spark, regardless of how much we study or what we observe. I often get the question, what type of Jew are you? Religious, secular, Orthodox, conservative, Reform, the list goes on. The truth is that we are all just simply Jewish. These labels are recent artificial inventions that don't serve any positive purpose. Realizing that we are each as Jewish as Moses allows us to make progress and to grow and not remain stuck in whatever artificial class we decided to put ourselves into. Every mitzvah that you do, every page of Torah that you study has infinite value, regardless of what you did yesterday or what you plan to do tomorrow. Judaism is not all or nothing. Every mitzvah that you do connects you to your Jewish spark and allows it to become a bright, beautiful flame.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And that takes us to the saying of Tehillim.
Al Yedei Amidas Tehillim, Al Yedei Amidas Tehillim, Al Yedei Amidas Tehillim, Tisoyre Chavateles HaShoroin.
All right, the saying of Tehillim, so very unbelievably important in our daily life. We have to say Tehillim whenever we can. So we are going to say chapters 23 and 123 together right now.
מזמור לדוד, אדוני רואי, לא אחסר, בינוס תשע, ירביצני, על מי מנוחוס ינהלני, נפשי שובב, ינחני ומעגלי צדק, למען שמו, גם כי לך בגץ על מובס, לא ירא, כי אתה עמדי, שבטך ומשענתך, המה ינחמוני, תערוך לפני שולחן נגד צורריי, תשענת בשמן ראשי, כוסי רוויה, אך טוב וחסד ירדפוני, כל ימי חיי ושבתי בביס אדוני לאורך ימים.
שרמלס ולכון נוסוסי יסעיני הישבי בשמיים הנחייני יעבוד עם היד עדיניהם כי הנה שבחו יד כבתו
Tanya.
All right, and that takes us to our Tanya for the day, the 25th of Iyar.
Tanya thoughts for the 25th of Iyar. Remember the itsy bitsy spider? Step by step, he moves up the water spout. Start with the least evidently godly creation, an inanimate rock. Doesn't seem to be any godliness there, none. It exists. There must be a rock maker, Hashem. Now follow that trend up the water spout to the essence of divine infinity. And you realize infinite Hashem is in the rock. It's not the rock, it's us. We don't notice the godliness. It's been there all along.
Let's talk Tanya for the 25th of Iyar of a leap year. In yesterday's Tanya, we spoke about the relationship between the soul and the body, and we spoke about there are three stages in the way the soul relates to the body. So number one, there's the essence of the soul, which is simple, undefined, you might want to say infinite, and is equally present in every single part of the body, which is why every single part of the body is equally alive. Then from this essence, there emerges all the faculties and powers of which are required in order to function, and that enters the brain. So all of those powers start off in the brain in a very condensed way, and afterwards, every single function and power ends up in its individual limb. So these three things also these actually are just a reflection of the way it is by God and the way God relates to the worlds. So everything begins, and in today's Tanya, we're only going to talk about the first level, the analog of the essence of the soul. The essence of God is pashut, is simple, undefined, is infinite, and it's equally present everywhere. When we say equally present everywhere, we don't just mean equally present everywhere in this world, but equally present in every single dimension of creation. We talk about God as being stimu dechol stimun, which means, on a simple level, it means he is the most hidden of the hidden ones. But the way the Alter Rebbe learns over here, that means that he is hidden from the hidden ones. We know that there are the lower worlds, which are what we call the revealed worlds. Then there are the higher worlds, which are the hidden worlds. God is hidden from the hidden worlds, meaning that God himself is equally hidden from all of creation, equally present everywhere, equally hidden everywhere. That is the essence of God, which is present everywhere. How about the next steps in the relationship? So that's going to be the Tanya of the coming days. But first, in tomorrow's Tanya, we're actually going to talk about the analog for the third stage, which is how every single limb receives its individual faculty and power, how that plays itself out in the relationship between the divine energy and creation.
All right. And that takes us to talking about Shavuos again.
Hashem gave us a present, do you know what
We're
it was?
count down.
He gave us the Torah and we must keep its laws. He asked the other nations, do you want this gift of mine? But they said no thank you, for Torah we've no time.
All right.
Then to Bnei Israel Hashem did go. We said nothing.
Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Passover, and of course, Hanukkah. Ask anyone on the street to name some Jewish holidays, and those are probably the most common answers you'll get. But what about Shavuot? Ever heard of that one? Not everyone has. But don't be fooled. Shavuot, while not as well known, easily makes it into the top 5 list of biblical holidays. Let's begin where everything Jewish begins, in the Torah. And you shall count for yourselves from the morrow of the rest day, which means the first day of Passover, 7 weeks. And that's it. That's all the Torah tells us about why we celebrate Shavuot. Really? Okay, I guess I was just expecting something a little more, exciting. No miracles, no prophecies, no wicked genocidal tyrants. I mean, I know Shavuot is a Yom Tov, a festival in which work is forbidden, kind of like Shabbat. And I know there's a big deal about attending services on the first morning and accustomed to eat cheesecake and other dairy foods to celebrate the day. But what does all of that have to do with this 7 weeks passage? And what exactly are we celebrating anyway? To figure this one out, we need to go to the Talmud, where the rabbis fill us in with an important clue. Shavuot is celebrated after 7 weeks from the first night of Passover. And we know that Passover is all about the Exodus from Egypt, right? That's an easy one. So all we need to know is what happened to the Jewish people 7 weeks after they left Egypt. The answer is only the greatest, most significant single event to have ever taken place in Jewish history, hands down. The 10 Commandments. No, not the Charlton Heston movie. The giving of the Torah at Mount Sinai. The voice of God booming from the mountain, the clouds of glory, claps of lightning, flashes of thunder, the blasts of the shofar throwing people back several miles, causing them all to faint on the spot. Now that's more like it. That right there is a Jewish holiday. To really understand why this day is so important, let's set aside the ice cream for a minute and dig into another Shavuot custom. Staying up all night, learning Torah. Why do we do that? Well, as the story goes, the night before the giving of the Torah, our ancestors wanted to be well rested, and so they all got a good night's sleep. Problem was, they slept so well that every one of them, and there were millions of them, showed up late to Mount Sinai the next morning. To fix their mistake, we stay up all that night and study Torah. To make sense of this, let's talk about sleep. When we go to sleep, our souls ascend to heaven and get as close as most of us will ever get to an out-of-body experience. So much so that when we wake up, we recite Modeh Ani, a special prayer thanking God for returning our souls to us in the morning. An out-of-body experience. What better way to prepare for a rendezvous with the Almighty? You would be right, except the Torah isn't just about the Almighty. It's about you. The event at Sinai was all about meeting God here, deeply rooted on planet Earth on our earthly terms. And that's why sleep was the wrong way to prepare. We need to be as awake, alert, and present as possible so that we can port God's presence into our physical, ordinary, corporeal reality. And that is what we celebrate on Shavuot. On this day, God came to be with us on earth. From that day on, he can be found in our ordinary activities, in kindness, in prayer, in Torah study, and even in ice cream, provided that it's kosher, you say a blessing before and after eating it, and you use its energy to serve God and make this world a better place. So every year on Shavuot morning, we head to Shul and listen to the 10 Commandments, allowing their lessons to be etched in our hearts so that the Torah will be a part of our everyday lives throughout the year. Now that is a Jewish holiday.
All right, and we will talk more about Shavuos as time progresses. In the meantime, Sefer HaMitzvos of the Rambam.
No, it's not impossible that Rebbe did say, just study Rambam each and every day.
We're up to class
I'll
number
never
68.
miss my daily Rambam. My Rebbe so desires I'm not busy or
Baruch Hashem, today is day number 68 of our daily study of Rambam Sefer HaMitzvos. We are finishing in the 3 chapters a day of Mishnah Torah Hilchos Tinius with chapter 5 of those halachas, and starting a new section. Let's first learn the mitzvah that corresponds to Hilchos Tinius. This is the 3rd day we're doing this mitzvah. This is positive commandment number 59, to sound the trumpets on the holidays and the new moons, and when you bring the sacrifices, and also in times of trouble when we are fasting, which is how the connection to the fast days. And don't worry, no, I'm not going to sing again like I did yesterday. Got a little feedback about that. Okay, and then in our 3 chapters a day of Mishnah Torah, we begin Hilchos Megillah v'Chanukah. Megillah v'Chanukah. Megillah means Megillas Esther, the scroll of Esther, the story of Purim that we read on Purim. Chanukah is Chanukah. Everyone knows Chanukah. So these go together. Why do they go together, Megillah and Chanukah? Because they're both rabbinic holidays. Purim and Chanukah are both rabbinical, meaning post-biblical. They both are historical events which occurred after the Tanakh, after the Bible was sealed. So as such, I'm going to ask you a question. What mitzvah from the 613 mitzvahs do you think we're going to learn today to correspond to the laws of Purim and Chanukah? Which one of the 613 biblical commandments do you think correspond to Chanukah and Purim and Chanukah? And you're right. The answer is none of the 613 commandments correspond to Purim and Chanukah because they are completely rabbinic. So We don't have a mitzvah that corresponds to them. That's what we got for you today. We will see you tomorrow, God willing.
Today, the daily study portion in the Rambam's Mishnah Torah continues to cover positive mitzvah 59, the mitzvah to blow trumpets as an accompaniment to the holiday sacrifice, as well as the mitzvah to blow trumpets when asking God for help. But the Rambam's Mishnah Torah also covers another area of Jewish law, which is not one of the 613 commandments, but is rather one of the 7 rabbinical commandments. This is the holiday of Purim and the mitzvah of Megillah. During the time between the first and second temples, King Achashverosh made a terrible decree together with Haman to kill all the Jewish people. And in the end, we were saved through a miracle, through the intervention of Esther the queen. As a commemoration for this, we have the holiday of Purim, which carries with it 4 special mitzvahs, 4 special commandments, primarily the rabbinical commandment of reading the Megillah. We also send gifts of food to one another, give charity to the poor, and have a festive meal. These are the mitzvahs associated with Purim.
All right. You got it up. Matters of Mashiach.
והוא גואלנו, והוא גואלנו, והוא גואלנו, משיח צדקנו, הרבי מלובביץ' מלך המשיח, הרבי מלובביץ'.
For the 25th day of Iyar, the stages of Mashiach. Mashiach is called by 2 names, Mashiach ben David and David. These are 2 names which represent the 2 stages of the redemption. David represents the full revelation of Mashiach. As it says, the glory of Hashem will be revealed and all flesh will see that God speaks as all flesh will see as one that Hashem speaks. In the first stage, there's a stage called Ben David, the son of David, when Hashem will not be fully revealed. Now, in this stage, we'll have to encounter and refine negativity, and Mashiach will influence everyone to follow Torah and mitzvahs. Mashiach will elevate all of the good in the world to a state of pure good. Now, after that stage is complete, godliness will be revealed in this world, and this in itself will nullify any negativity that remains. Indirectly, all evil will be abolished. And so too, we must increase and strengthen our good as we perceive no negativity even before the universal revelation of Mashiach. Just all positive. Everything with a positive eye. Here's Shmol Tzvi.
That we have the power to bring Hashem's desire into action. What does that even mean? If you think about it, it's such an unbelievable thing. Hashem, who is perfect, He doesn't lack anything. He has everything. He is everything. He's beyond everything. He's completely perfect. But yet, He desires that we serve Him and we perform the mitzvahs, the commandments, and we learn Torah, and we do good deeds. So we have the power to bring Hashem's desire into reality. Hashem desires that you and me are learning Torah. We're doing it right now. And now Hashem's desire is coming into action. And Hashem's ultimate desire is that there'll be a revelation of Him on earth with Mashiach, the third temple, the Beis HaMikdash HaShlish. So we are bringing that ultimate reality, that into reality. Mirz Hashem.
Must Be a Soup Kitchen and Food Pantry is available by texting the word food to 726-879, 726-879. 7 days worth of pantry food and hot meals every day in Rockland County. It's Tomchei Shabbos. In Lakewood, tomchei.org, and in Teaneck, it is Tomchei Shabbos of Bergen County. I should combine those screens. All right. Just One Shabbos, a beautiful organization here dedicated to bringing our youth back to the beauty and the mitzvah of keeping Shabbat, one Shabbat at a time. Achiezer.org, available 24/7, 365. They can help you out with whatever needs you have. If you're not sure, just call them and see if they can help you. Or God forbid the victim of, or you see a hate crime in progress, please call 911 immediately. We got to grab these guys. And while you're at it, put Hatzalah's Global Assist app on your phone. Put it on your home screen and label it ICE. And if you're not sure how to do that, there is a way to do that even on iOS. You can change the name of an app. Contact me if you need more information. Miss Oskim, in times of bereavement, is there to help you out with everything from A to Z. And while you're out and about, please be wearing a mask. It's so important.
Mask, wear a mask. Is this
we're
really
almost there.
much to ask? Tie some fabric around your face. Oh, it's the simplest of tasks. At the gym, at the store. Don't treat it like...
Also, if you would please get your vaccines and your booster shots. Make sure that you are protected against everything. The Mordechai Ben David Songbook.
Hey, good Shabbos, good Shabbos.
Good Shabbos, good Shabbos. Sit down, please. Join the Oneg.
Just one Shabbos and we'll all be free. Just one Shabbos, come and join with me. Let's sing and dance through the sky.
All right, fantastic. Contact our friend Shlomo Melman at 301-785-7159 for more information about this lovely book containing over 300 books. There's a common misconception that the good things in life come from being in the right place at the right time. In truth, everything that is good comes from being on the right channel with the right reception. That's what the sages call zchut, sometimes translated as merit. What it really means is a fine-tuning of the soul. How do you fine-tune the soul? Well, you have 3 dials. What you're doing, what you're saying, and what you're thinking. Machshava, dibur, and ma'aseh. Adjust them carefully for static, clean reception. And as we all know, because we say it all the time, Hamasa hu ha'ikar. The deed is the important thing. Thought, speech, action, deed. All right? Come talk to me about it on social media, any of the Actors Rabbis groups in Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Telegram, Twitter, WhatsApp, YouTube, The Actors Rabbi. Sign up for Baruch ato Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam boirei nefashos rabois v'chesronan al kol ma sheborasa lachayos bohem nefesh kol chai baruch chai ha'olamim. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to my Patreon sponsors, Pest Pro Red All, Tarzan Orchids, Dina D Design, Russell Peterman, Avi G, Evan Wasabi, Ruth D. You can become a sponsor today by going to patreon.com/theactorsrabbi or breakfastwithelli.live/new computer if you'd like to contribute to us and help us get a new computer because we really need it. We're kind of desperate over here. So, please help us out. It's a big mitzvah. All right. Good Tvach Shavua Tov, a good week. Thank you for being here. Go out and do something nice, something good for someone today. The 40th day of the Omer. You know what to do tonight. You add one to that. In the words of Rabbi Isaac Hamler, have affection for a fellow. Hashem will have affection for you. Do a kindness for a fellow. Hashem will do a kindness for you. Draw a fellow close, and Hashem will draw you close to him. Make it a great and glorious day. Be the reason someone smiles. And you always get another chance. Pesach Sheni, you had another chance. Here's a beautiful a cappella music video about another chance. Enjoy it, and I will see you, God willing, tomorrow.
Lama, 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 lama nigara. 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 A yid has to know. Another chance, a yid has to know. Lama nigara, a yid has to know. He always has another chance, a yid has to know. Lama nigara. Ay, 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 ram, ay, 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 ram, ay, 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 ram, ay, 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 ram.
Bring them home, bring them home. We've been praying for so long, so Abba, please bring them home. Bring them home, please bring them home. We've been praying for so long, so Abba, please bring them home. We're coming home, we're almost home.